I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.
Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon, and I'm going to give you a little update on the current problem reaction solution that the whole world is going to experience. And I've been watching, and there's a reason why I do these things. I've been watching what's being destroyed in the Middle East pretty closely, about as close as you could do with as many hours as I have in a day. And then I kind of come give you guys a little report as to what I'm seeing. But what I'm seeing right now is they're destroying the entire oil infrastructure in the Middle East. You know, we can put our minds into it and say, well, it's happening because of this, it's happening because of that. It's happening because they're creating a problem that will cause a reaction and then need a solution. You see? Problem, reaction, solution. Problem is that the oil industry is going to be so disrupted. You know, in the United States, supposedly we're energy independent. That's what our government tells us, isn't it? That we're energy independent. Meaning we export more oil, or we export oil, but we manufacture, drill baby drill, right? We get more oil than we need, right? We don't need oil from anywhere, right? That's what we're told. It hasn't always been that story, but that's what we're told now. Yet the gas prices are still going up and up and up, and that's going to drive the price of everything up and up and up. And this time around, they're not going to stop. It's going to drag. This is just my prediction. This conflict here in the Middle East is going to drag in a lot more countries into this. There are so many ways and caveats as to how this is going to roll out. It is insane. You can't even get your mind around all the ways that it's going to affect other countries. What happens when India, that gets a lot of their oil right here from Iran, can't get their oil? What are they going to do? What is the plan? What has been the plan the whole time? What about Japan or many other countries like Southern Africa and just numerous other places, right? And that's just one question. There's thousands and ramifications for it all. Now, if you don't realize this yet, and I say this kind of stuff a little bit repeatedly, and I'm saying it for anybody that's new, because I'm hoping that I might be actually reaching a new person. Here's the problem, is that this is all intentional, and it's all been planned for a long time. A very, very long time this has been planned. Not by us, the average people on the streets, the average people that are working, trying to make a living. It's by the rich elites that have never worked a day in their life. They've never gotten the soles of their shoes muddy. They've never gotten their hands dirty. They live in a different reality than we do. And they're the ones running what's happening. The same ones, or very similar groups, of the ones that told us all we needed a snake bite in our arm because there was an invisible disease that was on the counters and floating in the air, and it was on other people, and it was going to kill you. Now, how many people do we know died from that? Are there people that die from a flu sometimes, yeah, especially if they're, pretty old. But how many people have died? Many, many people. All of us know people who got the snake bite and they've either died or they've lost their mind or they're just terribly sick and got all kinds of things wrong with them. That was an act of war, world war, right? The world war is against all of the common people. They want to reduce the population of the world down to 500 million. Bill Gates has said this kind of stuff. Many others have said this kind of stuff. Heck, they even put it in stone at the Georgia Guidestones, which don't exist anymore. The last time I heard, they were blown up. The Georgia Guidestones said right on there in like 8 languages that they wanted to reduce the population of the world down to 500 million from 8 billion. Now, how do you do that? By hidden weapons, invisible weapons, making people believe that something they're getting is good for them when it's not good for them. And it's sterilizing them so they can't have children. It's sterilizing your little girls so they can't have children when they grow up. It's cutting off the population growth at the root. But we also need other things. They also need great delusions and distractions, and they're everywhere right now. And this Middle East war is serving for multiple of those things. So I'm not on here promoting in any way, shape, or form the war, one side or the other, because I don't have a horse in the race, you see. I'm on the side of just average, normal people worldwide. In every country, there are people in Iran that I could be best friends with. There are people in Israel I could be best friends with. There are people in Japan and Russia and Africa that I could be best friends with. But they're all people that are normal people. They're not people who were raised with a gold spoon in their mouth. Because we can't relate to those people. They live a different world. Anyways, I'll get off my soapbox. I've got a few things I want to show you. I want to give you an update on what they're blowing up and why I'm saying they're destroying everything. And yeah, I mean, it's, one side's blowing up this side and the other side's blowing up the other side. And you could call it this, but it's because the people that are in the trenches, they believe that they believe in this war. They believe in it because, well, they're under attack. In the case of Israel, Israel hasn't attacked. In the case of Iran, I meant to say, Iran hasn't attacked anybody. They have now. I mean, what would you do in their situation? When you know this is coming, you've basically already been told. Do you know that, we're going to look at the things that have been deployed, like over in Iran and Syria and Iraq and different places. Okay, we're going to look at a lot of these things. And we're going to look at the actual images of the locations, which we can do. And I'm also going to show you this real quick. Now check this out. This website's called Climate Viewer 3D. Very cool dude that built this website, and it is absolutely massive and insane as to the kinds of things that the information it has on it. Like, it has the missile defense radars, Star Wars SDI, space fence information mapped out on here for us. Okay. You have surface to air missile, the SAM sites worldwide. And I can toggle those on and off. So you'll see it repopulate here in a second. And of course, it's going to take me back to the United States. and things get really concentrated. But look at all of the surface-to-air missile defense systems that are all over the world. And if you come down into here, I mean, look at the numbers of them in here. And look down here. This is even more crazy. Look at the amount of them here in Egypt. Right now, we're expecting someone to get ticked. Or is this all just a complete, absolute manipulation setup from the end by the people that run the banks? Now, if you look at these right here, these are called the missile defense radars, Star Wars, SDI space fence kind of stuff, okay? And you see all these ones that look like satellite systems here that are in Iran. Now, let's click on one of these and see what information we have. Let's see here. Called Peace Ruby System. An air defense network set up by the United States in Iran pre-revolution, meaning pre-Iraq. Spell out, build a radar and comms network in the north of Iran. Peace Ruby built another air defense network in the south, and Peace Network integrated the two networks. Okay, so the United States built this system in Iran. See, you may or may not remember, but the United States has been arming Iran and Iraq and Israel and all these guys through the United States. Now, it's not us as Americans or whatever you believe you want to label yourself as that did this stuff, okay? I'm talking about the elites. They're using the sweat off our work, our tax money, the sweat off our brow to arm the entire world. Why? Why? Why would they arm Iran, arm Saudi Arabia, arm Iraq, arm Israel, arm Egypt, arm Turkey, just look at what they've armed. If I turn this off, just look at these. This is the Star Wars defense system. It's called missile defense radars in the entire world. Let me close this. I mean, how many places have they done this kind of stuff? Look at it up here above in the northern Canada. It's like a wall, because in a straight line, in actual reality, right over here is what? Russia. On this side over here is all Russia. And then if we spin this around and we come down here, you'll start seeing, let's see where this one's at. Siberia, a receiver missile defense system in Siberia. So this is like in Russia itself. I guess we're even arming Russia. I mean, it's just insane how much of this stuff has been put in place and funded by the United States. Funded through our work. Now watch this population. That's the surface-to-air missile, SAMs, or surface-to-air missile sites that have been installed. All these other little triangles and squares and stuff like this, that's been installed. And of course, they're all over everywhere. I mean, what kind of a war are we expecting? Well, according to the President of the United States, he said that this action going on in the Middle East was going to be what was it he called it? Not the mother of all wars. It was like the apocalypse, or what was the word he used? I think most of you know what I'm talking about. Like the greatest war and the end of the world in Revelations is what he was talking about. For some reason, it's slipping my mind. And they've done this for a reason. This has been a setup for hundreds and hundreds of years, maybe thousands. They've been planning this for so long. It's just insane. But most people, yes, most people are still asleep. They don't realize that this is the case. They still believe the dream, like the American dream, or the dreams that were sold into the people in Iran, or the dreams that were sold to the people who live in Israel, or Saudi Arabia, or India, or Russia, anywhere. It's all cultures. It's all cultures, like cultures in the lab. You have one little dish over here, and we'll call this little dish over here, we'll call it India. That's this India culture. And we'll do certain things in that culture dish and see what happens. Then over here, we'll have another culture. We'll call it Africa. And we'll do certain things in that culture dish and see what develops, and see how, if we do this all around the entire world, we can study the entire world and see how to best manipulate it, how to best, like Bill Gates said, get rid of about 90% of the population. I still can't believe that man said that on that TED Talk and actually is still not hanging from a tree somewheres. I mean, I know he can't go in public. No way, without many bodyguards. It's insane they get away with this. There are so many of us compared to the number of them. And they've just perfectly built the cultures and divided us all. You're an African. You're an Indian. You're a Canadian. You're an American. You're a Russian. We're people. We're all the children of God. And people just can't get this. Just can't get it. It is really sad. It is, when you come to the state of being awake that I am, it is devastating. Yeah. All right. Let me show you some places that have went kablooey in the last 24 hours. And show you what they're going after. They're destroying energy production, especially oil. Now this is actually, as you can see right near here, are some little red dots. The red dots actually indicate a fire that was picked up by NASA's balloon satellite fleet. And some of them have multiple indications, meaning there was more than one fire. And then there's some of them just individual ones, like this little one here. But when I was coming here and was looking at this, I couldn't help but see this city. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And if you zoom in on it, I'll close this so you can see a little bit more. If you zoom in on it, it's like this raised mountain, looks like a tree stump right here. And they've built, the richest people in the city apparently live probably on top of the tree stump. You can see the shadow back here behind it, where the light's kind of coming from this angle here, and it's producing a shadow back here. So it gives you an idea of, it can give you depth, if you can see what I'm saying. So this is a pretty high plateau. You live up here if you really don't want anybody to touch your money. You're really into it. anyways, just a crazy city with the way it's designed and laid out. See these, all these really trippy looking designs. I mean, in some ways it's amazing and beautiful. I mean, look at that. But all these designs, most of it is religious based, religious symbols, I would think. And they've got high rises, big high rise buildings all over this place. If you look right here, see these shadows, these black areas? Those are actually shadows coming off of these buildings right here, showing you that these have, they're very tall buildings all through here. And you can see them back here too. The black stuff is actually shadows of very tall buildings. This is like crazy, massive city out in the middle of the desert. And these people are just filthy rich for the most part. These are filthy rich. And you can see they're still expanding the city. Here comes the road circle coming around, being developed in, wrapping around here. They're still building out this city. Just insane. All right, let's go ahead and look at some of the actual locations, though that had strikes on them. This is the one actually very close to this city. You would think that somewhere in that city there would have been a fire that this system would have picked up. But the things that picked up were outside of the city. And if we zoom in, we can come here and we can see what it is that's being hit. These are 3 different fires. 5 different fires. And this is some kind of, I don't know, it looks kind of like maybe it's something to do with electricity for sure. I mean, maybe they're trying to knock the lights out in that very large city that's right next door. I'm not sure. Let's start at the top, actually. Let's go. This is in Syria. And see what is here when we zoom in and out in the desert. Let's turn us 3 different strikes here. And it's, oil, energy-based manufacturing site. Likely you got wells and the whole get-go out here. And if you zoom out, you got other things right around it that are tied to it and related to it. Oil production, oil wells, all this kind of stuff. This whole country is just loaded with it. So let's go ahead and go to the next one. This is in Israel. Right down here. And as you can see, oil production and a port. And this location has been hit several times, multiple times since the beginning of the apocalypse. I think that's might have been the word that Mr. T used, the apocalypse. Let's go ahead. So that's energy. I'm going to move through these pretty fast because I don't want to take all day for you or me. And I don't want this isn't for entertainment, but at the same time, I don't want it to be boring either. Another one of these solar farms that are inside of a pond. They're floating in the pond. So we got another one of those. Let's go to, this is in Egypt. Was it? Yeah, Egypt. So let's zoom in here and see what they are hitting here. This one was hit multiple times. Each square is one indication. You can see you got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 flare indications. And of course, we've got oil manufacturing. And it's everywhere like this. Let's just hit a couple of more. This one's right next door. And they hit this one too. Yep. And if y'all guys remember the video, the likely AI generated video called I Pet Goat, that I have spent an enormous amount of time decoding it. And now we're back to this place again. They've apparently hit this place again. And I can't guarantee that every one of these is an actual strike, but all of these fire locations end up leading to these places. It's not a fire, a house burning down. It's not a fire, like normal stuff. It's energy places. And they're saying, hey, we're blowing up all the energy places. Great. This is in supposedly Jordan, I think it is. Let's see what's down here that they blew up. Yeah, can't zoom in too as good on this one. And it was maybe like an oil well site or something. I'm not quite sure on that, but it was hit as well. Here's another one in Jordan. And as you can see right off, oil production happening here. Over to Syria. And of course, again, energy production. And they're just blowing them up. It's like they're systematically, and I'm sure you would say, well, they're at war. It is systematic. They're systematically destroying the oil production in the Middle East, not just in one country, but in all of the countries around here. If Israel and the United States isn't hitting it, Iran's hitting it. There's going to be, basically, by the time this is done, there ain't going to be nothing left. I can guarantee you, both sides, Iran, Israel, the United States, they've got enough weapons and equipment to blow up everything, meaning all of the oil infrastructure and some other things. And when that happens, the more this is disturbed, it's like you've kicked a hornet's nest. And there's a lot of people with a lot of money and a lot of influence, and they're going to want revenge on both sides. And then that brings in a whole world into perspective or involvement in what's happening here. It is, I can't help but say I'm a human. It affects me. It's depressing because we're going to see gas go to heights that we couldn't imagine. And then it's going to be dripping off. Let me show you here. There's going to be such a shortage with gas that they're going to start rationing it. Not yet. Not yet. But they're going to start rationing it. All right. Let me move forward on here. Let's see here. Now, there's an enormous amount of things, and I've explained a lot of it before. So, I mean, a lot. But there's scenes in here that are directly related to what's going on right now. Here we have the oil running out. See? Oil is running out. And there are many other things in this video as well that are related to what's happening here. You got this thing here. This is symbolic for a submarine. If you can look and see on the back of the submarine, there are characters that look like missiles. You'll see it better in a second. See, they're all got missile heads. They're all missiles heads. And they're on top of a submarine. And the submarine, during an eclipse of some kind, is coming in or being brought in for an event. Now, this event will be a further collapse of what we all know as the United States of America and maybe other countries. I know nobody wants to think about that. We'd all rather stick our head in the sand, you might say. And right after that scene, of course, you got this guy doing this, okay, signaling the beginning of an event. You've got the oil running out right next. And then right next to that, it shows New York City falling, being destroyed. Liberty going down. And I mean, I could get into a whole bunch of things in here. Here is another directly related to what's going on right now. You got world coverage, markets plunge, and all of this is still to come, you see. Still to come, but it is on the table getting ready to be played. I don't know exactly how quick, but it's on the table. You can even see where it says, it's got the dollar, the US dollar in his eye right there. It says down 14.36 in one day. For whatever reason, when they made this video, they made it so that someone like us could be able to look at it and discern what is going on here. Now, let's play this out, see what happens next. Well, we just had what? Let me play it through again. Now you notice it says US dollar. The character right before this is called Draco, the dragon, the Draco, the evil one, and the dollar bill is written all over his face. See? Imagery of the dollar bill all over his face. And we'll let this play through one more time, and you're going to see 3 stealth fighters coming in. And what do they hit? Well, this is like a Muslim temple. This is in the Middle East. I could speculate as to multiple locations as to what this is. I have seen a few nuclear sites that look like this as well, but they don't have the Islamic moon thing on top. And notice on the right-hand side right here, I think this thing backs off. Yeah. See if it shows it again. No, it didn't. But you could see like that round city we were looking at a while ago. That looks like it right there. I don't know if that's it, because I'm sure there's more than one of those over there. Yeah. There's a whole bunch I could get into here, but that's not the purpose of this video. So, like I said, a lot of this is tied into this. And this looks like, one time I thought it might have been an island, maybe being like a volcanic explosion, something happening. And that still could play out. But it also looks like aircraft carriers going down. It does. I didn't actually come up with that concept, but it does kind of look like aircraft carriers going down. The big wide decks on it up here. See that wide deck? And then coming underneath just like the aircraft carriers do. You know. So what I'm showing you this for is I'm trying to show you that this has been a plan. This came out 14 years ago. This was produced and released 14 years ago. Like about 2013, I think. Let me get a little drink of water. It's all been planned way before. And I know it feels frustrating. I feel your pain that we feel like we can't do anything about it. But I realize this is that you may be in this world, but you are not of it. You may be in the flesh that you're in now, but you are not of it. You are a being of light. And so am I. And this world's going to do what this world's going to do. Best thing we can do is try to remember that we have a Father in heaven and that He allows these things to go on, and there's a purpose for it, a greater purpose that we don't understand. And I know that's frustrating. But the best thing I can give you advice for is to, while we're still here, is try to build a chicken coop, try to start a garden, try to drill a well so you can have access to water yourself. Try to get out of the big cities. If you're living in the big city and you own a condo or you own a house in the big city, get out of it. Move into the countryside somewhere. I can't tell you where to go. I'm in the countryside, kinda. And I've got a well, I've got a chicken coop, and I've got a garden. Just started planting things again. Might film some of that and put it on my Daniel's Art Garden channel. We'll see. Someone like me that's been doing this for 16, going on 17 years about, it wears on you. It wears on you. I hope you understand. Yet, I'm no quitter, so I keep driving on. I appreciate y'all guys, and you appreciate this work. Links are below if you'd like to do anything for me. I love you. Bye for now.
I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.